Hello friends and welcome back. Today we're going to look deeper at a topic that many confuse, the difference between prayer and meditation. But this time we'll approach it not only spiritually, but also from a psychological and scientific perspective. This is important because both prayer and meditation affect the human brain, the nervous system, and even long-term emotional health. And while they may appear similar at first glance, modern research shows they work in fundamentally different ways, with very different outcomes. Let's begin with meditation, as it is often practiced in its Eastern and modern forms. In Hinduism, meditation is connected with moksha, the liberation from the cycle of rebirths and the union of the self with Brahman, the universal spirit. In Buddhism, meditation is a path toward nirvana, the extinction of desire and the dissolution of the self into detachment. Modern mindfulness and yoga practices draw from these roots, usually by silencing thoughts, emptying the mind, or repeating a mantra to reach a state of calm. And indeed, science confirms that meditation can bring short-term benefits, lowering stress hormones, calming the amygdala, the brain's fear center, and improving attention and focus. Time magazine summarized these findings by showing how meditation slows down stress responses in the body and creates a temporary state of calm. But here is where things become more complex. Not all studies report only positive effects. A large research project at Brown University found that 58% of people who engaged in meditation reported at least one negative effect, such as hypersensitivity, disturbing dreams, or strong anxiety. 37% even said these effects impaired their daily functioning. Another review found that between 6 and 14% of meditators experienced lasting adverse effects, including panic, depression, or emotional detachment. And in a survey of over 200 regular meditators, 1 in 4 said they had unpleasant experiences such as distorted emotions or altered self-awareness. So, while meditation can calm you in the short term, it can also destabilize the mind if practiced deeply or without proper guidance. Why does this happen? Because meditation often works by emptying the mind and suspending thought. And a mind that is empty is not necessarily a safe mind. Even from a Christian perspective, this can be spiritually risky, because you do not clearly know who or what you are opening yourself to when you open your inner self to the universe. But even from a psychological perspective, detaching too far from thought and identity can weaken emotional grounding. In fact, researchers have documented that some forms of mindfulness meditation can reduce empathy and pro-social behaviors. A meta-analysis with over 1,400 participants showed that breath-focused meditation actually lowered people's motivation to make amends or act with compassion. Another study found that mindfulness, in some contexts, increased selfishness. These results are important. Not every kind of meditation strengthens character, and sometimes it can erode the very empathy we need for healthy relationships. Now let's turn to prayer. And here science gives us another fascinating picture. Neuroimaging studies have shown that prayer activates the brain's social cognition networks, the same areas used when we interact with people we love. For example, a 2025 study published in Frontiers in Psychology found that prayer engages the attachment system of the brain, the circuits that regulate trust, empathy, and social bonding. Other fMRI research by neuroscientist Jordan Grafman showed that religious experiences involve brain regions tied to emotional regulation and moral reasoning. In other words, prayer doesn't just calm the brain, it connects it. Prayer strengthens the same networks that make us capable of attachment, empathy, and resilience. Think of the difference. Meditation often dissolves the self into an impersonal cosmos, while prayer affirms the self in relationship with a personal God. Psychologists remind us that a secure sense of identity is essential for emotional resilience. When you pray, you bring your whole self, your doubts, your guilt, your dreams, and place them before someone who knows you. Instead of detaching from your pain, as meditation suggests, you carry your pain into a relationship where it can be transformed. Modern therapy echoes this. Expressing suffering in a safe relational context supports healing. Prayer does exactly that, by giving you a safe relational context with God Himself. Another important distinction is how prayer influences peace. Meditation can provide calm as long as you can maintain a still mind. But that peace is fragile. When the session ends, worries often return. Prayer, however, produces what the Bible calls the peace of God, which transcends all understanding and guards your heart and mind. Believers describe it as a burden lifted, a peace that doesn't come from self-control, but from trust in God's presence. Neurologically, this is consistent. Prayer reduces stress while simultaneously strengthening social and emotional networks, making the peace more stable and enduring. The contrast becomes clear when we look at suffering. In Buddhist meditation, the answer to suffering is detachment. If you stop clinging, suffering loses its power. In Hindu meditation, the answer is transcendence, realizing your oneness with Brahman so you escape the cycle altogether. But in prayer, suffering is neither detached from nor dissolved. It is carried into the presence of God, spoken, and transformed. You don't numb your pain, you entrust it to a Redeemer. This difference is not just theological, it's psychological. Research on trauma recovery shows that suppressing pain often worsens it, but expressing it within a safe relationship promotes resilience and healing. Prayer gives exactly that framework. Finally, prayer has another benefit that science is beginning to notice: spiritual protection. Psychologists studying resilience note that people of faith often experience a sense of safety and grounding that buffers them from negative influences. From a Christian perspective, this makes sense. When you pray, you are not opening yourself to an unknown energy. You are filling your mind with God's presence. It's the difference between an empty house and a house filled with light. One is vulnerable, the other is safe. So let's summarize. Both prayer and meditation affect the brain and emotions. Meditation can calm the body, but also carries risks: emotional detachment, anxiety, or even moral disconnection. Prayer, by contrast, strengthens identity, deepens empathy, regulates emotions, and offers a peace that is not fragile but anchored. Prayer combines both spiritual depth and scientific evidence of psychological health. This is why, when you look at the data as well as the spiritual insights, prayer emerges not just as a religious practice, but as a path of holistic health, supporting the brain, the emotions, the relationships, and the soul. If you found this exploration helpful, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. We continue to dive into how faith and science meet, and how the wisdom of the Bible speaks not only to the soul, but also to the mind and body. Don't forget to like and share this video, and let me know in the comments. Have you experienced the difference between prayer and meditation in your own life? Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay safe and stay blessed.